So in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Power Drive Ford F-150 with the super-size giant tires. I was actually in Tractor Supply when I came across this giant monstrosity. You see, the camera does not do it justice to just how big, just how massive this thing is. So to show you guys exactly just how big, the scale, the sheer scale of that Ford F-150, that Tractor Supply RC truck, I have brought out the biggest, ginormous collection of RC trucks that I have. And believe me, the camera does not do it justice. These things are absolutely massive and they pale in comparison to that truck. But before I put them side by side and do a little comparison and show you guys exactly the scale of this thing, because that is the selling point, that is what essentially is going to sell you on this thing. You're going to be walking down Tractor Supply looking for tools, looking for tractor tires, looking for anything that you buy at Tractor Supply, and then you're going to walk across the aisle and your kid is going to see, look at my hand, your kid is going to come across this giant thing. Now I will give it up to the marketing team, because this ginormous truck comes in this big old crate box. You need a drill to like drill out the screws. This thing comes in like a giant cage containing the beast, and your eyes are immediately going to be drawn to how this thing is packaged. It's out in the open, it's not being hidden. The whole truck is in full showcase. This thing only costs $80. But I wanted to put this thing to the test because I see these RC trucks at Harbor Freight, at Tractor Supply, and I've always asked myself, do these parts store companies sell any decent RC cars? Well, we're about to put that to the test today, because the only features, the only things that the box of this thing say it does is that it says it has an off-road suspension and it can climb over rocks and obstacles. But when you actually open up the truck and examine its contents, it's got this very basic suspension. It's got almost zero flex to it when you try to do any kind of articulation here with the front tires and the rear. And the whole thing is only being powered by one rear motor, which when you have such massive tires like this, although they are foam with just a rubber strip for grip, you really want all the power you can get when you're trying to push and move such a heavy RC truck. Now it also does come with a mount for your GoPro camera. You can put a little mount there and you can get some POV footage of your truck driving along. And the charger is a USB built-in charger. As you guys can see, we just pop it open and it's right there. You plug it in to the USB port and you're pretty much all set. You can charge this in the car, you can charge this on the go. And pretty much the only other cool thing about this truck is that it is a 2.4 gigahertz frequency. I really do like the controller. It even comes with a trim adjuster right there. The controller's nice. It's got a good feel to it compared to the New Bright controllers, which are literally 3D printed. Look at this thing. I can probably, if I squeeze down hard enough on this, I can probably crumble this little cheap little controller. All right, and like I promised you guys, before we put this thing to the test, because you better believe that I'm going to put this thing to the test. Anybody who's watched my RC review videos knows that I punish these cars, because if a kid's going to be playing with this, you want it to pretty much be able to go over any kind of terrain. But I want to show you guys a little bit comparison difference. You can already start to see it, but let's start with the OG. This is the car. This car is, I'd say, a little bit over 10 years old at this point. This is what is now known as the Monster Jam Snakebite. It was essentially the OG of the RC cars that started with a giant frame and these foam tires. As you guys can see, this thing is absolutely massive. This was around 60-70 bucks back in the day. Then we move over to the New Bright Jeep Trailcat from Walmart. This was $90, and I've done a review on this truck. It is by far one of the weakest, most underpowered, crappiest RC trucks ever made. Check out the review on that. Just look up, you can find it on YouTube if you dig enough for it. But essentially this thing is completely overpowered, but at the time this was one of the biggest RCs that Walmart was selling. It is until the Gravedigger came along, and this thing, my review on this thing blew up on YouTube. It's got over 200,000 views, and at the time this was the biggest RC truck you can get, and this thing absolutely trumped the Jeep Trailcat. I mean, just Just look at that. Now this was the king of the biggest and baddest, tallest RCs. Super underpowered, super weak, super underperforms. But as far as big size for the kids, you know, this is what they love. This was it until the Kid Galaxy Power Drive Ford F-150 came along. As far as the height comparison goes, it's got the Gravedigger beat side by side. Just take a look at that. It's about, I'd say, about an inch or two taller. It's about maybe an inch to two overall wider. And the wheelbase right here is roughly, I'd say, about maybe half an inch taller than the Gravedigger. All right, so right off the bat, the first test we're gonna put, look how giant this thing is compared to the trunk of a Ford Crown Victoria. Guys, I'm telling you, this thing is massive. But anyways, enough of my infatuation into how large this monster truck is. The first test we're gonna put this thing is through the climb test. We have this pile of gravel here. It is quite steep. If this thing cannot climb this pile of gravel right here, that would not be a good start for this truck. Here we go. Oh, it's got proportional throttle too. That you can go as fast or as slow as you want. Not bad. That's a pretty good feature. Let's see how good it can climb. Here we go. All right, so I'm gonna try to get a little bit more momentum going. Here we go, guys. Hold on and go. Just doesn't have enough power to climb up that hill. It's fine. There's another way to get to that hill. Follow me. Here we go. All right. With it having surprisingly decent speed, I have a feeling it's going to do pretty damn good in grass, which is usually where the majority of the kids in a city with a backyard or at a park are going to be playing around with this thing. We're going to try some low laying grass and some medium grass and then some tall grass. Look how fast this thing is, man. It's surprising just how fast it can actually go. Goes through the tall grass relatively easy. A little bit of a struggle there. I'm just surprised at the speed for how tall and big this thing is. And now we're gonna do a little bit of a medium grass test. Handles it like a champ, as expected with such large tires. All right, well, we're already running into issues. We have been using this RC truck for, I'd say no more than maybe tops 10 minutes. This is what happens when you gun it. This should take off immediately like it was doing earlier. Watch the delay. What that means is the battery, after just 10 minutes of doing just some minimal trying to climb this thing, it's already dying. Look at this, it struggles. It struggles. Come on, buddy, you got this. Stumped by a cardboard box. Come on. $80. You can do better than that for $80. Come on. Tall grass. We're going to loop around and come to some gravel. Here we go. Picking up some speed. Now, a secret little party trick that these big foam tire trucks have is that they can actually float on water. I've actually, with the Gravedigger one, I've actually put it in a super deep creek and it literally drove on top of water. All right, in 3, 2, 1, go. Come on, you can get through those little dry tufts of leaves. Come on now. See, can it run it over? Come on, you gotta be kidding me. Keep trying, keep trying. You gotta be able to get through that one leaf. There's no way. So big and strong, you can't even get through that. All right, now we'll see if we can get through this this little trail here. All right, whenever you're ready. Damn, not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, that's gonna be it for this review of the Tractor Supply Power Drive giant foam tires Ford F-150. My thoughts on this thing are a little bit all over the place. They're a mixed bag. In one hand, if you give this to a kid, they probably have a really good time with it in some light grass, in some gravel, even on pavement or a parking lot somewhere. But it's so underpowered and the battery just doesn't last long enough to where a kid is really gonna, well, you know what, I take that back. With nowadays these kids having an attention span of like 5 minutes or less, maybe a 10-minute life battery would be more than enough to have fun with something like this. It does have enough power where it doesn't completely suck, and for the price tag of $80, I'm pretty sure you can probably buy either an entry-level hobby grade RC monster truck, nothing as big as this, nothing as big as that, maybe a 1/10 scale or something like that, 1/24 scale, nothing on the dimensions of this thing. But if you're looking for an entry RC for somebody who's 5 years old or a toddler or something like that, this thing is great. It won't get in their way, it won't hurt anybody, and it has enough power to at least supply a good time. So I'm going to leave that up to you guys. Is it worth spending the $80? It depends on what child you're buying this for. If it's for an adult, definitely don't buy this. If it's for a kid 5 years and under, I would buy this. Anybody else, spend the $80, entry-level monster truck RC, and that would make people very happy. Either way, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Have you guys seen this thing at your local Tractor Supply? Have you considered buying it? Did you buy it? Are you gonna buy it after watching this video? Let me know. Catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Go for it. Run your mom over. Yeah, you see? Just don't run yourself over with it. There you go. That's all that matters right there. 5 years old, it gets it done for them. They don't need anything fancy, just something they can squeeze the trigger and have a good time. Running your brother over with it, huh? Catch it, Clark, catch it. Run him over, Harmony.